The pledge of allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flag will be done by Mr. Pomeroy, and I'll give the indication we'll proceed. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You okay? Okay. Father in heaven, we just thank you for this time, this organization, and these people that are dedicated to your purposes, and we just pray that you will be with us and guide and direct our thoughts and actions, that they may be in accordance with your will. We just thank you, ask it. Amen. Okay.
So, consent agenda.
Any visitors need to be announced or
No,
introduced?
sir, not today.
Okay. And agency awards and recognitions, I don't have any. Do you have any?
Not today either.
You don't either?
Believe it or not. I think so.
Okay. Consent agenda, let me go ahead and read the individual items, and we'll take a motion after that. Consent agenda, item 1A is approval of minutes for the board work session and regular meeting on December 15, 2016. Item 1B, acceptance of financial statements November, December of 2016. Item 1C, acceptance of quarterly investment report, quarter 1, fiscal 2017. Item 1D, approval of award and contract for bus shelter, sign installation and removal, and miscellaneous construction services. Item 1E, approval of award and contract for concrete construction services, and approval 1F, approval of agreement with Route Match for software upgrade. Is there a motion?
Yes.
There is a motion. Motion second. Any questions, concerns? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposition by like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 2 is on the regular agenda is the election of the board, and that's all 4 positions, officers. That would be chair, vice chair, treasurer, and secretary. Does anyone want to make a motion for all, or do you want to take them individually? Your choice.
I'd like to move all.
Second. What you got?
You have to
Your
name.
name.
You have to name.
We didn't hear that.
You have to name them.
You don't have names?
How about the current officers? Do it again.
Is that a motion to re-elect
That's a
the
motion.
current officer?
Does the second apply?
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposition by like sign. Any abstentions? Anybody want to shout? I mean, that was almost too easy, wasn't it? Okay, thank you. I appreciate, from my standpoint, I appreciate your trust and confidence in what we've done and what we will do, and certainly I think this has been a great group of officers, particularly this last year, and I'm just happy that we are where we are. I really am, and I thank you for that confidence.
Thank you for your continued service.
Okay, we're on item number 3. Do we have any executive sessions left? Anything? Anybody? Okay, so that gets us to number 5, I trust, unless I missed something. Council, do you
No,
see
sir.
anything?
You're right.
Okay.
Chair report.
Are you still alive? Okay.
I am.
Okay. Let me talk to you just a little bit. You should have it at your place. You said you passed it out to each person.
Rusty put them on.
This is kind of a draft, dates.
No, that's not.
I'm sorry.
The draft agenda, that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a state legislative and regulatory strategy, and this is something that I've talked to you a little bit about, but I wanted to make sure that you all understood what we'll be doing in Austin, those of us that will be going down there. And I think just to run through those items that we call support, item number, actually it's dot number 1, is cleanup language regarding procurement in Chapter 460. That's what we've been working on for quite some time. I think most of you have seen what that is, but it's, we've always had one. It deals with procurement, and our strategy and opportunities for procurement and its cleanup, most of all. I think everybody has expected, each of the legislators that I talked to saying, for the last month, what are y'all coming up with this year? And so we didn't disappoint them, so we sent them something. This is all procurement. It's pretty simple stuff. We've had no friction, no comments from any of them, basically, and we'll be closing the loop when we go down for the Texas Transportation meeting here in a couple of weeks. And but I think it's pretty straightforward. Regional toll revenues approach to manage lanes. This is an idea, a funding idea I've had along with the TxDOT Rail Division, impact fees, and those kind of things that I've talked to y'all before, but let me just tell you very quickly. I've been proposing, and this is individual, it's not going in writing to the House or the Senate. It's just that in talking to individual members of each of those bodies, I planted the seed that we try maybe regional toll revenues on managed lanes, similar to what we did on toll roads, particularly 121, where we generated $3.2 billion that has gone for years to improve city streets and connector systems and so forth. But since it's all managed lanes now, the only expansion of toll roads has to be, pardon me, with NTTA, who'd be expanding a couple of toll roads. It's just a recommendation for them to consider. Funding potential from TxDOT Rail Division. That's one seat I planted with a couple of commissioners of the Texas Transportation Commission. See if we couldn't get, since they have a rail division, why not help rail? And no money, and we're working on the money side of that, and that happens to be through DOT number 5, which is Texas Donor State Status. We just had a telephone conference call with Washington, our representatives up there in Capitol Edge, whereby there's $800 million that Texas has as a donor state. I think Texas is the only donor state at the federal level at this point in time. We have contributed $800 million more than we've gotten back in gas taxes from Washington. Texas Transportation Commissioner told me, he said, if you all will work on that, we'll see if we can't get you TxDOT rail money to some extent. So this is all kind of interconnected, but at least we're showing an effort to try to at least recapture some of our Texas donor state tax money and get it back, and hopefully that will feed into TxDOT rail somehow. And that's a long loop, but at least we're making an effort to do that. And then the impact fee on new development is the Florida model that I've told you all about, where impact fees are paid based on new development of people that are migrating into the state or the city. Our region is 145,000 a year. It's just unbelievably tough to try to keep mobility at its highest level, to keep air quality down to a low level. So we're facing all these issues at RTC that I think an impact fee on new development might be helpful. I know that several projects I developed in Florida, I was most happy to pay impact fees on those developments as long as I knew I'd have good access to the site. And I think it's the same situation here. We're getting to the point where we're just stymied. You don't have to know anything about transportation to know how bad the traffic situation is. And we're still in non-compliance with the federal government air quality issues. We face it all the time. You hear it, Eric, I'm sure from your dad, that I've been on the RTC now 14 years, and we've never been in compliance with federal statute. And so who knows when that's going to change, but we've got to improve that piece of our life. We're going to monitor a couple of things. You could read them down there. Efforts to create new funding. We're always doing that. And there are 3 or 4 items there you can look at. But I'll be happy to answer any questions now, or you can call me about our position. But we are moving steadily ahead on the support issues and intend to continue to do that. Yes?
That all sounds really good, Mr. Chairman. I have one question. If all the discussion about federal infrastructure bill is going to have any impact on the legislature, will it put a pause button, or will it wait to see what happens, or with respect to transportation company? I don't know. How that's going to come together. I'm interested to see that.
Well, we've all heard that transportation will be part of the new life of the new administration in Washington. And I just think there's a lot of questions but no specific answers.
Really?
but the way it sounds, there's gonna be more help up there. And I think our push maybe to get some of that 800 million back may connect us to some sources that we haven't heard from before. We'll be doing that. That's true. Anyhow, I don't have an answer to your question.
I know APTA's prepared a white paper to kind of brief how transit could be a player in some of that might, might be out there or develop as a result of that, so.
You know, what's happening, and I think it favors transit, particularly rail, is that, and I have done some condemnation work in the past, but the I-35 corridor, I will tell you, is getting more expensive. It's going to get to the point where it's going to be prohibitive in acquiring land to expand highways. I mean, this next cut's going to get to the heart of commercial development in cities. So I think it's going to force us into looking at corridors that are available, like the BNSF that we, of course, pushing out from Carrollton up to Frisco, which is on our service plan, and other rail corridors. So I think all things are kind of pointing in the right direction for us, particularly from rail. So we're just trying to position ourselves better to get there.
I would just add, I think it's part of the outcome of the strategic planning process and projects identified, that if there is a window of opportunity, now is the time. It couldn't be better timing for us to do the planning and to lay this all out and get this in front of the right people.
And when we spoke with Chris Giglio, our federal legislative consultant today, he did say that it's perfect timing because spring or summer is probably the time we would want to take.
He said he thinks that's when they've got some other things to work on right now, as you've all heard. But he thinks the spring is going to be when they're going to talk about infrastructure more seriously. So that's kind of our
So
de
you're
facto
saying we got
deadline.
100 days?
January already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First 100 days.
And one other quickie on the high-speed rail side, we have reported RTC just about every month on that. There was a little setback down in Houston. Somebody filed a lawsuit, I believe, that tried to stymie the rail on that side. When I talked to the high-speed rail people, they weren't too awfully concerned about that. I would be if somebody filed a lawsuit to try to stop the whole process. But they're pretty heavily in environmentals at this juncture. I can't imagine environmentals involved in that kind of a rail system. But I think they're kind of watching and I think I mentioned to you all, the issues that we looked at in California from LA to San Francisco. It's 280 miles, and they're 118 miles into it, and $3.2 billion down in the whole project. So if you look on out, we have, I think, I won't say a bad example, but we've got a pretty tough example to learn off of. Certainly, we don't want to duplicate those kind of situations. But there are some examples that we can look at on high-speed rail. I'm encouraged. It's a long-term project, I think, but there's some forces and money behind it now that I haven't seen in a long time. So anyway, that's the other piece. Any questions about any of the RTC stuff or whatever? Okay.
Charles?
Yes.
Sorry, back to your original question. I want to share one piece of information and save it under, because you're still mine. We're working on the policy bundle submittal for the COG as part of the Mobility 2040 plan. Of the 10 requirements for transit agencies, we must adhere to 5 of them in order to have access to transportation development credits. So staff has been working diligently over the past couple of weeks to meet the early deadline of February 3rd, and everything is complete. We'll probably be hitting the send button tomorrow. So first of all, kudos to operations staff because they've done most of the work on pulling everything together. But during the process, we had to pull up some historical documents. Thanks to Rusty and her ability to find historical documents on the share drive, we have certain things in place for us to be a member of the Clean City. It's not Clean Cities. I wrote it down. Okay, Clean Cities, and Charles, you'll hear about this at RTC, I think. So that's why I want you to know that we have not been a member of Clean Cities. And when you look at the current stakeholder list, DART is, the T is not, and we are not. Michelle hit the send button on that yesterday, so now we're going to be members. We'll have to submit a report annually, just showing things that we're doing as a transit agency for idle reduction and using clean fleet policies with regards to like the engines and kind of keeping up the certain tier of emissions, for the fleet. So something else to be able to brag on at RTC is when they do make the announcement, I don't know if they announce, how they announce it, but we have not historically been a member of the community. We now will be a member.
Well, our little sit down on the RTC agenda, kind of peg the right place for this.
Okay.
And hopefully it'll be under 400 pages this month. Okay, do you have anything on number 6?
Just a couple of items on the president's report. We didn't have any budget transfers this month, but stay tuned. Again, just a reminder, you have in front of, or in your packet, the little red packet, the February board meeting schedule and the retreat. Again, in February, there will be a program services meeting on the 14th, as well as the regular board meeting. Then on Thursday, the 23rd, will be the board retreat starting at 10:30, so the time has changed on that. So again, just as a reminder to everyone that it is also at the Gateway Center in Denton, and you have this information with the parking information, but just a reminder, because I know it's a change on the, how we're handling the board meeting and the board retreat now is two separate items.
Still that lower lot down there?
Yes, it's
By
the
the
one.
stadium, the old stadium?
It looks like it's adjacent to the stadium.
Okay.
The old stadium. So anyway, but you have that, Rissy's provided that for you, and if you need any additional information, I'm sorry, Rissy?
Parking permits will be handed out at the February 14th board meeting, so if you're not gonna be able to attend that meeting, just let me know and I can email it to you or mail it to you. And then, just as an aside, lunch that day, we decided to go a little different angle. Instead of sandwiches, we'll actually do fajitas, so.
Yay, something different. That's good news.
Okay.
So again, that information's in there for you. And just as a reminder, Jim sent out his president's email on February the 20th, and it included some information on the board retreat, some of the topics, and so if you'd like to refresh your memory, you can pull up that email if you need it resent. Let Linda or Rusty know, and we'll get it back out to you, but it had some draft notes, and it also had some information on upcoming events. I know that we're trying to make an effort to make sure that we keep all the board members advised of any upcoming events that might be of interest for you to participate in, and again, communicating that to Rusty and Linda that they can get you lined up for that. But again, that information on the January 20th email from him has some retreat
Let
information
me
for
just
you.
add, if anyone else wants to come to program services, you are certainly more than welcome to come. We talked about an agenda for that. We'll do an operations update, but we will also talk about elements that will be in the strategic plan. We'll preview those with the committee. We will talk about the project list that Jim sent out and any further information with respect to the projects that will be filled in. And then we will also talk about infrastructure acquisition. So there will be a lot to talk about.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Oh.
sir.
I thought on 6A we had $54,000 transfer. Is that?
I'm sorry, I'm not.
6A?
I thought we had a budget transfer of $54,000 for insurance.
We haven't done that yet. That's the one that we'll be doing.
That'll show up next week.
Correct, that's down, coming. That's why I said more, stay tuned.
Anything else on item number 6 from anyone? Anything on 7? I have nothing. Do you? Okay. Then I guess 8? Second? Second. You don't favor that, stay here. The rest of us are leaving. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, Rance, I didn't meet the record.
Charles?
I did last time, I had to
Charles?
sit in for